Okay, 9.2, we're on page 8 of the notes, and we're going to need a calculator. It says in these, using a graphing calculator, we want to graph the function. Okay, so everybody, on one of these calculators, if you don't have one of these calculators, then you can do this at home. There's a program called Desmos that you can do this at home with. But it's much easier if you use this one, but Desmos will work. So, if you're doing stuff at home, somebody is not here, you can do that. All right, so everybody, let's take our calculator, and on our calculator, I got to get rid of some stuff here on my board that I wrote last period for stats. So let's take our calculator and let's press the on button. Now, if you look at my screen, you'll see it light up in red. That's the on button or the home button. So if you press that one, then you press number 1 for new document. You want to save? My answer is no, I don't want to save. And then I want to add a graph page. So oops, I'm going to do it again for I want to add a graph page. So I want to get this one on here like this. Okay. Now, it says F1x equals. That F1x means y equals. So when you see y equals, you've already got the y equals there. You just have to put the rest of the equation. So the equation on this one says x squared plus 4x minus 1. So everybody, we're going to type in x. And then how do you get the squared? The squared is right here on the calculator. X squared plus 4x minus 1. Subtract 1. And make sure we put the subtract, not this little negative, because that'll do something goofy to your graph if we do that. And then you hit enter, and it's going to graph the parabola. Boom! Just like that. Okay? Now, we're being asked for some different things that we're going to find. We want to find the vertex. Well, you say, well, the vertex is right there. What I think the vertex, it looks like it's at -2 and then down maybe 5, but I want to know for sure. So here's how you do that. On this calculator, you press the menu button. This menu button here is like your best friend after you've graphed it, okay? So we press menu, and then the number 6. If you read the screen will help you. It says we're going to analyze this graph. So we press number 6, analyze the graph, and now it gives us different things. We've talked about maximums, minimums, or something. So which one is that? Is that a max or a min? It's a low point, so so we want to find the minimum. That's what we want. So we're going to select number 2. Okay, now what it brings up this hand. You're going to use this mouse pad kind of thing that you have, and you're going to move this line, and all you have to do is, like your 2 arms, you have to get the vertex between the 2 lines. Okay, so right now I'm going to put one line on the left, and then I'm going to click either enter or just click the middle of the mouse pad. Then I'm going to drag, and you'll see it starts giving a gray area, and I got to get the other line over there. But all of a sudden you see a minimum show up. Do you see it? And then when you click over here, it gives you the answer. Now you might not quite be able to see it. So what you can do is move on your mouse pad. You slide your mouse pad, and you can click on it, and you can click and hold, and it'll give you a pinchy hand where you can move it so you can see it better, and then you click the middle and it'll let it go. But it looks like -2, -5 was right for the vertex. Did you get that on your screen, everyone? Everybody give me a thumbs up so I can see. Everybody got it? If somebody doesn't, then I want to come help if I didn't see the thumbs up. There we go. Now it showed up. So click again. All right, so everybody's got -2, -5. So we're going to write that in for our vertex. -2, -5. We already, when we graphed it, we knew it was a minimum point. That's how we had to find it using the calculator. Our axis of symmetry, that hasn't changed. X equals what? It's always x equals the x value, so x equals -2. It's the x value, right? Now this one doesn't have domain and range. We're not looking for domain and range. We can do that. All real numbers, y is greater than, but we're not looking for that. But next it wants the zeros. So the zeros on the graph, the zeros are where it crosses. Now I don't think either of these cross like this one. It looks like -1, -2, -3, -4. It looks like a little more than -4. So it's probably a decimal. This one is somewhere between 0 and 1. So we want to find those numbers. They're going to be decimal answers. And how we find those is similar to how we found the last one. So now everybody press menu. Number 6, we're going to analyze graph. And the first thing it says is find a 0. Okay, it brings up a line. Now here's the idea. I want to find this 0. I want to find out what that is. So what I have to do is I have to put one line here and one line here. I have to surround that 0. Okay? So it's like the other one, but I have to surround that 0. And then I'm going to have to repeat it and surround the other 0. So I'm going to click my line here. It's on the left. And then I'm going to drag over until that 0 shows up. And then I'm going to click again. And I have one of my zeros. So everybody see if you can get that 0, -4.24. Give me a thumbs up if you got it, so I see everybody's got it. Got it? Got it? Got it? Got it? Okay. What? Yes, that's much easier. You need to put in x squared plus 4x. Plus well, you hit enter on the first one. Don't hit enter until you do x squared plus -6. See it? You hold it. No. 6. 0. Okay. Click. Now we're going to get the other one. Okay, so now we're going to get the other one. So everybody, menu, 6. And we have to find the other one. Now, I find it easier. A lot of students move this up and down. I just press the numbers. So, like, instead of trying to move up and down, I just do this. I go menu, and then I press the number 6, so I don't have to guess. It keeps me from hitting the wrong thing. 6, 1. I want the 0. Now I want this one. So it doesn't matter. I have to put 2 lines that surround it. So I'm on the right side of it, and I drag until that one shows up. Now I don't keep going to get this one. I just stop at this one. That's enough. And this one says 0.236. So now I have my 2 answers. My zeros on your screen should be negative 4.24 and negative 0.236. They should be on your screen. That's where it crosses the x-axis. So today's about technology, using the technology to help solve the things. We are in a technological age where we can do that. So everybody ready to start a second one? Do we all have those on our screen? Okay, so here we go. You write that stuff down. Now, if you're a little lost, let's see if we can get it this time. Let's everybody press the on button. And then number 1, new document. Do I want to save? No, I do not. Just start over because I've seen some people not with me. Press the on button. Number 1, new document. Do I want to save? No. I want to add a graph page, so I press the number 2. Okay, now we're going to put in a new equation. This equation is a little more tricky. It's 1/4. So I like to put the 1/4 in this way. I press Control and divide. And then I put 1/4. Then I move behind it. Now be careful. Don't hit Enter here. If you hit Enter, it's going to all of a sudden graph something you don't want. That's not what I want. I want a parabola. So I have to be careful that I don't hit Enter. So here I'm going to go Control divide. 1/4, move behind it. And it says x squared plus x minus 5. Now I want you to look at this one. When I type x, I use this squared. I don't use the little up arrow next to it. I use this one so that way I don't have to worry about it. It moves it down. The other one you have to type in a 2 then. So x squared plus x minus 5. And we get a graph. Oh, there's a negative on it. I missed it.
I was about to say, mine look different.
Yeah, if you got the negative, you got it right, and I didn't. So I'm going to press the tab button. See, now the tab button brings you up. I could put a second equation, but I'm going to press up, and I got to get back in front of my 1/4, and I got to get in the negative. So you either got to redo it or you got to get the negative. Now, does it look the same as yours? Okay. If you missed the negative and you need help, raise your hand. I'll come help you. All right, everybody, menu 6. Now, is that a maximum or a minimum? That is a max. Now, I just have to get my lines on each side of the peak, the hump, the vertex. I click here, I drag it over until I'm sure it's in between, and I found it. And you should have 2 -4 as your vertex. Do you have 2 -4 as your vertex? Give me a thumbs up. Got it? There's no 0 found. That's good. Here's why. Does it ever cross the x-axis? So see, this whole thing is below. So as we look at this one, the vertex is 2 -4. It is a max. The axis of symmetry is 2, and there's no zeros because the whole thing is below the x-axis. It never crosses it. So when you recognize that, you can say, hey, there are no zeros. It never crossed the x-axis. If you try to find the zero, it'll say no zeros found. It tells you that as well. Okay, are we ready for the third example? Now, even if you got a little lost on that one, put it out of your mind, because see, here's the deal. The reason we do multiple ones is so we can practice, all right? So, okay, I missed that one. No big deal. Act like we're starting fresh. Make sure you get it down. So on here, we're going to press again. On button. Number one, I don't want to save. I want to add a graph page. Raise your hand. I can do that again if you're not there. Everybody there? Can you type in the new equation? I'll get my negative this time. This one's negative. X squared minus 4x plus 2. And we got one that opens. Now, are there zeros this time? Does it hit the x-axis a couple places? There's a vertex. There's always going to be a vertex. So let's find the vertex. Menu. 6. Is it a max or a min? It's a max. You see the importance of knowing that. We click on each side. Now, if you need to move it, did everybody practice moving it too? So you click on it. It'll give you the little pinch hand, and then you can move it, and then you unpinch it. But I have negative 2, 6. Now the zeros. Again, they kind of look like they're in between, so I'm going to go menu, 6, 1. I'm going to press zeros, and I have to find them each separately. So I click once here, I drag over until that one shows up, and this one is negative 4.45. Okay, it's one of the zeros. Looks like there's 2 of them. The other zero looks to be a little above 0, positive. Menu, 6, 1. And that one's 0.449. How are we doing, everybody? Is that making sense? Okay. So today, we're going to stop midway through this one. We're going to pick up and we're going to do that again tomorrow.